Good morning, Araceli. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm okay, I guess. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for asking. Araceli, my name is Lakyva Bason, and I want to go over a few things before we get started. Were you able to complete the intake questionnaire?
Yes, I completed it yesterday.
On that questionnaire, you had to enter a unique code. For safety reasons, can you tell me the code that you entered? This confirms you filled out the form.
Yes, the code is 123456.
Perfect. Thank you. So before we get started, let's discuss some things about confidentiality. I must safeguard any information you disclose to me, regardless of where it has been stored, whether it's paper, computer, or recording, anything. I also must ensure this information is secure and not in a place that's accessible to others. Confidentiality also has its limitations. We may release information to appropriate individuals only after careful deliberation when there is imminent danger to you and the community. Also, there are cases where we consult with our colleagues to make written or oral reports. However, we only reveal information relevant to the consultation's purpose. We only discuss confidential information from our work, the people clearly concerned, or for scientific, medical, and professional purposes. In the case of disclosure, we take reasonable steps to ensure that the information will not be misused, misunderstood, or misinterpreted to infringe on human rights, whether it's intentionally or unauthentically. We may also disclose confidential information only when you or any legal representative gives consent, unless it is prohibited by law. I know that I'm giving you quite a bit of information. I want to make sure that you are following me. Your privacy is very important.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, so I want you just to remember that we sometimes discuss things with our colleagues or other professionals. Um, that would be some of your confidential information. When we seek a second opinion from a colleague or professional, we make sure that the extent to which we disclose information is limited to what is needed to achieve the purpose. And lastly, we do not reveal confidential and personal identifiable information of our clients in our writings, our lectures, our classroom discussions, or other public media. You or your legal representative consented in writing. There is legal authorization, or we take reasonable steps to disguise the client inadequately. Okay, so that's all that I have now for confidentiality. Do you have any questions?
No, not at this moment.
Okay, so we're gonna move forward. Please understand that your complete honesty and openness is needed in order for me to try to help. I know you filled out some questions on the intake questionnaire, but I would like to just reiterate some things to make sure that I am clear on what has occurred. Is that okay?
Sure.
All right, so Araceli, according to the information that you gave, I can see that you recently suffered a loss in your family.
Unfortunately, I lost my husband to gun violence.
Okay, well, I'm truly sorry to hear that. You definitely have my sincerest condolences.
Thank you.
I can also see that you have two children. You have a girl who is 16 and a boy who is 11. And the boy was present during this time of the accident.
Yes, that's correct.
All right, so can you share with me in great detail as much as you can recall about what happened on this tragic day?
I can. On May 1st, my husband, myself, and my son headed out on a normal day for my son's Little League football game. My husband enjoyed coaching my son's team. He was very active in this way. For some reason, I felt very uneasy about this particular game. The team we were playing has a reputation for being hostile and confrontational, and the coaches had a track record of being violent. Once we arrived at the football game, my husband and I discussed not playing this team and coaches in the future. He promised that this would be the last time. He even decided that he wasn't going to coach this game. He would just mark the first downs. Once the game started, every call that the referees made became an issue. The coaches would run on the field and argue with the officials. After about 20 minutes of this, the referees decided to just call and cancel the game. This really made the other team coaches and parents very upset. Everyone could feel that something was going to happen, so everyone started recording. I could see my son on the sideline with his teammates and my husband on the field standing to the side. As I glanced at my surroundings, I saw my husband picking up things on the field. He was headed to pick up the game ball. I looked away for one moment, and then a fight broke out. In less than 30 seconds of the fight, 5 gunshots rang. My son and his teammates were running in the opposite direction. I was down on the ground, and then I saw my husband down on the ground. Everyone was up and running to their cars, but my husband was still laying there. I knew right then that something wasn't right. I ran over. He was sure shot. People were taking off their shirts trying to stop the bleeding. He started choking on his blood, so I lifted his head. He gathered enough strength to ask me to make find who done this to him. He looked at me in the eyes and said, "I love y'all." And that was pretty much the last time I seen him alive.
Wow, that's really a horrific experience. I am truly sorry that you and your family are having to deal with this. So this is a few months ago. Um, I know that's not a long time, but what is life like now? What are your thoughts? What are you doing to try to move forward?
It's been tough. My husband and I were together for 23 years. He was all I knew. He took care of us. A lot of people would say that I was very spoiled because he literally took care of everything. He gave me and my kids so much, but now none of that even matters. It actually could have been me before this moment. I never really thought about dying or what life or my kids could like if something happened to me.
Sounds like your vision about life has changed.
Yeah, I don't think about it too often, but I'm definitely more aware. I've been thinking about my life so much. I'm wondering, have I been kind enough to people? Have I done things I want to do? It's just a new mentality, but I really feel like none of the material stuff even matters.
Okay, so everyone dies from circumstances. Some planned, some are not. Maybe what's troubling you is that you want to make sure you have lived the way you want to live. So when your time comes, you can appreciate that you have lived your life the way you want it. Um, but why do you say none of that matters?
I say that because he left us so much, we would never have to worry financially. But in a matter of seconds, my entire family has been ripped to pieces. He gave us the world, but the world took him from us.
Is that really how you view it?
Yes, my husband would give anything to anyone. He was the person that he would walk over to the pump to pump the gas for an older person. He would mow your lawn if he saw your grass getting too high. Even he never asked for anything in return, and this is what he got in return. He didn't deserve this.
No, he absolutely did not. You mentioned that he took care of everything. Now that is gone, how are you dealing with having to fill those shoes?
As I mentioned, financially, we won't need anything, so there is no stress there. Thank God. My primary focus is being strong and keeping my kids together. More than anything, my kids now need to realize that it's just us. In a matter of seconds, life can change. One minute, someone is here, and the next minute, they are gone. The money helps us survive, but the goal is to ensure my kids live and thrive.
Sounds like this incident has changed your perception of life.
Oh, yes, and people too.
So you've had a frightening experience and you've come out of it existing, relating to another world on top of the world that you were already relating to.
Yeah, exactly.
So you mentioned not caring about stuff.
Not at all. Stuff doesn't matter. All that matters are people I love.
So it sounds like you want to channel this negative and scary experience into a positive way.
Yes, definitely. It really already has. There's a part of me that will never go back to that old mindset.
So you're kind of free in a sense.
Yes, I would say so. It forced me to take a hard look at my values.
So what will you take with you moving forward from this experience?
The thought that I had when I heard those gunshots, all I thought about was who. I am making my time here special with the people that I love and the people that love me.
Okay, so let's stop here for a moment. According to your intake questionnaire, you seem very reluctant on coming to therapy and sharing your story with a stranger. I first want to say thank you for sharing. Um, I would secondly like to say you are a hero for you and your children. I commend you for your strength and courage to do whatever you need to do to make sure what's left of your family is at its best. I don't want to overwhelm you with too much today. So here is what I would like. I mailed you a notebook that arrived to you yesterday. After this call, can you please date today in that notebook and write down how you felt about this call? You don't really seem like you're very emotional right now, um, but did you feel emotional during this conversation and maybe you held it in? Is it frustrating you that I keep asking all these questions? Do you feel any relief by talking about this? I just want you to write down those feelings and tell me how you feel.
Okay, I can do that.
If you have any emotions or regrets or thoughts between now and next Monday, use the notebook to write those down. I would like to discuss those feelings. I anticipate that you will likely have some other emotions come up.
I sure will. Thank
All right, so in this role play demonstration, we witnessed the power of existential theory in guiding a client towards discussing how they view the world since this tragic accident. By encouraging the client to be open to continue to discuss what they are feeling, the counselor used the journaling technique with the client.